What's up, guys? Big Dog Mobile Mechanic here on another project. I'm working on a '06 Chevy Silverado with the 5.3. I'm doing a knock sensor job on here. I'm just going through the procedures on what I got to do. The first thing I'm going to start with is what the tools you're going to need for this job. These are the tools that I use. You can use whatever tools you prefer, but I have a 1/4-inch impact drill driver, whatever you call it, by Milwaukee. I have a 3/8 inch drive Milwaukee ratchet, cordless ratchet by Milwaukee. I have a shop light. I have a long 8mm socket, 3/8, and a 10mm socket, long one, for it's also 3/8. You're gonna need those two. And also, you're going to need either this, or you could use just a regular 10mm wrench. This one's got 10mm on ratchet wrench on one side, and it's got a 8mm on the other side. Also, you're going to need a gasket scraper to clean off the excess gasket material that stays stuck on the intake manifold where it seats on the top of the engine. Also, a pick and a magnet, just in case you drop a bolt or something. You got a magnet to pick it out with. This is part one of a 2006 Silverado knock sensor removal and replacement. I'm going to go ahead and change out the I'm going to change the knock sensors out, and I'm going to change the harness as well. Anytime you do a job like this, you might as well just go ahead and change the harness out too. I mean, because you have a bunch of heat under there, because it's underneath the intake, so there's a lot of heat building up there all the time, so they tend to get kind of hard. The wiring harness, it gets hard and brittle, so it's always a good idea, if you're going to do the knock sensors, you might as well just go ahead and change the harness as well. I'm going to go through it as much as I can right now, because this is part one, like I said. Once I get stuff taken off, then I'll go ahead and show you after I take it off on part two. Okay, so basically you're going to need to take off, there's 3 10mm bolts here. You need to take these 3 off, take this plate off. Plate's going to come off. Take out all these. There's going to be some bolts right here. I don't know if you can see them. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. There's going to be 4 bolts on this side, and there's going to be 4 bolts on the other side. You're going to have to take, they're all 8mm, so there's 4 on this side and 4 on the other side. Take those off. You're going to need you're going to need to take off this right here. This is for the air breather right here. You're going to take this off. So you're going to take off right here. There's going to be a 8mm bolt right there. And there's going to be another 8mm bolt right there. And this, you just pop it out on this end and pop it out on this end, get this out the way. You don't need to take off the alternator, so don't worry about the alternator. The alternator can stay. Just make sure you unplug this harness on top just to get it out of your way. You're going to need to take off, also you're going to have to take off the throttle body. So this has 3 10mm bolts, one here, one on the bottom right, and one on the left. There's also some hoses under there. They connect on the bottom, so you can't see them from right here because the lighting is not that good, but there's some hoses on the bottom that you need to take off of the throttle body first. Take those off. And also on this side, if you see right there, you need your fuel disconnect tool to take the gas line off, the fuel line off of there. And everything else is you just get it out of the way. You don't have to take your fuel rail off. All you have to do is just disconnect that line there. That way you don't have to take all this off on here. And you have to also disconnect the fuel injectors on the intake, because it's got it right here. You can see it better on this side, so I'm gonna go ahead and right here you have these plugs, and you basically, these little blue tabs here, you're gonna pull up on it like that, and you're gonna squeeze. There's like some tabs right here. You can't see it too good right here, But there's little tabs right here, and you basically squeeze them. You squeeze it after you pull the blue tab up. You squeeze on the bottom of it, and it comes right out. Sometimes you might have a little hard time, but you have to squeeze it kind of hard. You squeeze it like this. You squeeze it and you pull it out. That's going to be on every single one of these. You get that out the way. Once you get out the way, you got to unplug. Like I said, you got to unplug all these other wires first. And this right here, when you take this plate off, you got to take this out of the way, basically to get it out of the way. There's a hose back there that goes to the brake booster that goes from there to the intake on the back. You just unplug the hose from the back of the intake, and once you get all the wiring and stuff out of the way, this is going to slide right out of there. And I mean, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. So everything should be, you know, pretty simple from here. Once I get everything taken off, I'll go ahead and start recording on part 2 of this video.